Melanated Morning Show with DJ Kid Disco and co-host Cinda Williams. Grown Folks Radio. WGFB-FM Radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For the health and safety of our guests and team members, we're here for you. That means frequently deep cleaning our stores and wiping down carts and baskets after each use, reserving dedicated shopping hours for our most vulnerable guests, providing masks and gloves to our team members, and offering contactless shopping options through the Target app, like Drive Up and same-day delivery. We are here for you now more than ever, and your health and safety is our highest priority. Learn more at target.com/a bullseye-view.
New Dunkin' Refreshers. Vibrant fruit flavors like strawberry, dragon fruit, and peach passion fruit. B vitamins and energy from green tea. All under 200 calories. Order ahead via the Dunkin' app for a contactless way to order, pay, and pick up in the drive-thru. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of Amazon's roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in their buildings to keep people healthy. Go to amazon.com/apply. That's amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everybody, it's your girl, Shelly Show Williams, Philly's Oprah, host and executive producer of Single on a Saturday Night. And guess what? I've teamed up with DJ Kid Disco. He is the king of the podcast, and we have Zoom Your Podcast Masterclass. Have you ever wanted to start a podcast, learn how to be a Zoom professional, throw a virtual party? Now is the perfect time to learn all about it in Zoom Your Podcast. Go to ShellyShowWilliams.com or go to Instagram at Shelly Show Williams or at DJ Kid Disco. DM us. Find out more information. This class is a must-take class. Hey everybody, it's Shelly Show Williams, Philly's Oprah, executive producer of Urban Expressions, Single on a Saturday Night, but I am a business, social media, and media coach. And if you're looking to show up on social media with a purpose, I have a course for you. Have you been struggling as an entrepreneur, trying to figure out how to get people to engage, how to get people to buy, how to get people just to see you on social media? I have just the course for you. Please go to ShellyShowWilliams.com to find out more.
WGFB-FM Radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
Yo, what's good? This is Tracy Lee, and you already know I gets down with the get down, man. Grown Folks Radio all day.
Hi, everybody. This is Cinda Williams, and I am the co-host of the Melanated Morning Show and the host of the PPC Radio Show. And you are listening to Grown Folks Radio. Radio.
Let's set this party
Well, that's all you get. Morning. Let's set this party off right. That's all you get, because, you know, Facebook be acting real funny acting. You know, so Facebook will cut you right off, but everybody else will keep you on YouTube, Mixcloud, Twitch, everywhere else that you can streaming platform. So yeah. So good morning. This is the Melanated Morning Show. Today is Friday, so I'm by myself today. I'm so lonely. It's like, nah, Cece's not here. Seabreeze is not here. She's not here on Fridays, you know. And she's waking, you know, regular life kicks in. So Actually, kudos to her. She's working. She's, you know, she's, you know. So, first of all, first things first, because I wanna I wanna shout some folks out real quick on Facebook. Earl Davis, what's going on? My man Earl tunes in every morning. Cynthia, aka DJ Simpson. In fact, I'm getting ready to tag her right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this part right here. Because I'm getting ready to tag her on Facebook. Facebook is such Facebook is such a funny breed, you know. Facebook is so sensitive. Let me put it like that. You know, Facebook just, I don't know. I have my own thoughts about Facebook, but anyway. So just give me two seconds, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. Y'all know I'm blind as a bat. So I'm trying to tag my girl in here. There we go. Because I wanted to make sure she was a part of this. Okay, there she is. She was already. No, she's not. Oh, anyway. Okay. Anyway, I can't get nothing going. Today is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Oh, that's for y'all old people. Anyway, yeah. Stimulus update. Let's get into that first of all. Let's get into the stimulus update package. Yeah. Well, no, first things first. Let's go with the attack on Syria. Well, it wasn't an attack. It was a military response on Iran that had a militia in Syria. It was a, how can I put this? Basically, that's where they were hiding out at, and in Syria, and Biden administration decided to, you know, do one of these numbers. I mean, I get it. I get why it was done. You know, and so I understand why it was done. I understand, you know, I'm explaining to y'all, and I'm going to explain to y'all why. Well, I can't really go into detail why. I think it was done to send Iran a message. I really do. You know, I've heard overnight different conspiracy theories, but you're going to hear that anyway. But the bottom line is that Biden is catching a lot of, well, not a lot, but he's catching enough flack about him taking his moves so early in his presidency. Okay. It's like, oh, you know, you've only been in office for 6 weeks and you're doing the military strike already. Oh my God, what do you do? But here's the thing about that. here's the thing about that. If memory serves me correctly, didn't Trump do that going in? Didn't he bomb? I'm sorry. Because I can swear I remember him bombing. Maybe it's just me, but, I could swear it's what I heard. But okay, let's move on. Let's move along. So basically, there was a militia. Strike. A strike on a militia group that was hiding out in Syria, and Biden decided to take action. He dropped a bomb. If I remember, Trump did the same thing early in his presidency. So, hypocrisy. It's just amazing, the hypocrisy. And speaking of hypocrisy and the amazement of the hypocrisy, let's tap into that for a minute. You got the stimulus package update. Okay. And it goes a little something like this. As you know, there has been on the table for quite a while. Seabreeze and myself has sat here and debated this very issue on this show. Well, that issue is no longer an issue. As it turns out, as I was telling you guys in the past, the stimulus package bill is pretty much going to be passed on what's on a law called reconciliation. Now, here's the ironic part about reconciliation. Reconciliation is a law that was actually created by the Nixon administration, of all people. That's the irony. That's the hypocrisy of America. America always has such great hypocrisy, blatant hypocrisy. So, yeah, that law was created by the Nixon administration back in 1972. That was one of the last things that Tricky Dick did on his way out the door. And what reconciliation is, in a nutshell, is reconciliation is when you have a president, pretty much, or a Congress, because here's how it goes. Congress creates the bills, Congress writes the bills, and the Senate puts them in, votes them into law. Okay? So what reconciliation is gives a pretty much, and the reason why reconciliation again was created, and that is to hit the irony and the hypocrisy, but the irony of reconciliation. So when you have a Senate and a House, right, that's pretty much controlled by one party or the other, which at the time it was the Republican, the Democratic Party actually controlled, and that's when this came about. What this bill does is that it gives the House pretty much, and the Senate, the ability to pass the law without having the majority vote. And I'm going to bring it to modern times so that you understand exactly what I'm talking about. You have a slightly high, a slightly controlled Democratic House. And when I mean slightly, like they don't have room for any weirdo votes or votes that don't, As you know, the Senate, Mitch McConnell, is no longer the Senate majority. The Senate is now controlled by the Democrat. So what you have is the Congress being controlled by the Democrats. You have the White House controlled by you have a Democratic president, and you have the Senate controlled by the Democrats. But anytime that you want to pass a bill or pass a law, you would still have to get a vote from the minority party, which now is the Republicans. So if you know that the Republicans are not going to go with this stimulus package, Congress has the Senate has the right to do what's called reconciliation. Just go around and say, you know what, the hell with you. You're on some other stuff, and we're just not going to, even bother. Now you get one of those a year because it wasn't used last year by the Democratic controlled Senate. Democratic controlled House and Senate. Well, it wasn't controlled then last year. So now they have two. And what I mean by two is with reconciliation, you can do one topic at a time or one bill issue at a time. So they have two bill issues. So what happens here is that the government has to figure out a way to pretty much what are they going to tackle. But here's the key thing with reconciliation. Reconciliation only works with matters that are direct budget issues. And that's where the minimum wage situation comes in. The minimum wage situation is not a direct budget issue. Okay? That has nothing to do with the budget whatsoever, the minimum wage. It really doesn't. It's a wish. It's a huge wish of Biden and Bernie Sanders and others, but it's not a budget issue. See, here's the thing. If the Democratic is pretty much split 50-50 as far as the Senate goes, pretty much. Even though Chuck Schumer is the leader, is the majority leader, as Mitch McConnell was, and that is because we have a blue White House. Had we still had a red White House, then Mitch McConnell will still be in charge. But because we have a blue White House, Mitch McConnell is no longer in charge. Chuck Schumer is the majority leader for the Democrats. And what does that have to do with the White House? What that has to do with the White House is that Kamala Harris, as vice president, is the deciding vote. So no matter what, you're always, even if you go 50-50 and it becomes a tie, Kamala Harris is the deciding vote. So that's why you have a blue majority. Okay. So here's how reconciliation works. Again, the minimum wage proposal in that bill is not attributed directly to the budget. In other words, PPP, the unemployment extension, of course, the vaccine, billions for the vaccinations and all of that. That is attributed directly to the budget, and that's what only thing that reconciliation gives the Senate the ability to do is basically circumvent. Because here's the thing, they knew it all along that the Republicans are not going to go on. They tried to offer them $600 billion, which is $300 billion less than the last one that we got. Okay, so they're just saying, okay, with reconciliation, okay, well, basically, fuck y'all. We not even going to bother with y'all. We know that y'all want some other shit. We just going to go around y'all. But it has to be tied directly to the budget, the issues. Well, the parliamentary part of Congress does not allow for the minimum wage to be in that, to even be voted on, because it's not a budget issue. Okay. Now, how does this make Biden look? Actually, by that law, that part of the law being in, it actually helps Biden. And I'll tell you why. It actually helps Biden because now it doesn't look weak as if he gave in. Joe Manchin, of senator from West Virginia, which he's borderline Republican. First he said that he was not going to backed the bill and that he was going to vote against it as a Democrat, which is suicide to me, but okay. And then it was, okay, well, if you bring it down to $11 an hour, then I'll go ahead and vote on it. I will go ahead and vote yes. You know, in my opinion, $11 is not enough. $15, okay, that's all well and good. I have my own issues about that. You've heard Seabreeze and myself debate this intensely. Me personally, I don't agree with the minimum wage hike to a point. And what I mean by I don't agree with it, I agree with it, but if you're going to raise the minimum wage, then you got skilled workers out there who are making 15 right now, who earn the right to earn. So are you going to boost everybody? If you're not going to boost everybody, because if you're going to bring somebody who's making what, $8 an hour, is that the minimum wage now? Close to $8 or whatever, $8-9, whatever. If you're going to bring them up to 15, then you need to bring people who are making 15 already as skilled and workers and whatnot, and bring them up to at least 20. That's my thing. If you're going to have everybody making the same thing, and you got people who did train and whatever for their career, and you got people who didn't, and I'm not knocking nobody who's working at McDonald's. I'm not. But you are not going to tell me that some high school kid, or some kids not even going through college or whatever, deserves the right to earn the same as somebody who went to trade school or who became a CNA or whatever, and they're making what they're making, and they clawed and scratched to get what they made, what they're making now. I don't think that that's fair. That's just me. That's just my take on it. So let's get back to why this is no longer an issue. This is no longer an issue because the law states that the Senate cannot vote on it. They can't even vote on the minimum wage because it has nothing to do with the budget whatsoever. What Joe Blow pays the average American is none of the government's business, other than the minimum wage that they set, which is what they were trying to do. So because that is not a direct budget issue, the parliament doesn't even it doesn't even allow them to vote on it. So that's out. They're supposed to vote on the rest of the bill sometime today. We're pretty sure that it will pass. And I heard something mentioned last night. I've heard a couple people say this, that the checks were split. It doesn't go like, it's not the checks were split. This is not how it goes. There was no split or anything. This is not all a part of the previous bill. Okay, so ooh, that's what happens when you smoke marijuana first thing in the morning on the air, live on the air. So, so here's how the bill breaks down, okay? If you remember, Trump signed the bill late, and you got the $600, okay? There is no split because this bill that is being voted on is a totally different bill. It's totally different. That 600 that some of you got, and I do mean that seriously, some, because there are many more Americans who didn't get the 600 as compared to those who did. So, Malik Truth, what's going on? So, here's how how it broke. Here's how it broke down. Okay. Oh, and by the way, the way that it goes is, excuse me, now I got a frog in my throat. The way it goes is with that. Wow. Having said that, well, I'm really having a problem here. With excuse me. I'm really having a problem. Got a real frog in my throat. Reconciliation has been done as recently as 2017. It was done by the Trump team. Now, what exactly am I talking about? Do you guys remember the tax hike? I mean, there's the infamous BS tax cut, which really wasn't a tax cut for us. It was a tax cut for Trump and his cronies. Remember that back in 2017? Now, this was back when Trump first got into office. And if you remember, Paul Ryan was the Speaker of the House at the time. This is when the Senate was controlled by Mitch the Bitch and Lion-ass Ryan, punk-ass Ryan, because I'm sorry, Paul Ryan had no balls. But then I'm really starting to see that the Senate, the GOP doesn't have balls to begin with. That's what I'm starting to say. So, yeah, I'm drinking water. I'm drinking a whole bottle of water. I got something really, really in my throat. I apologize, y'all. I really do apologize. I'm drinking a whole bottle of water. And listen, guys, I don't know what's going on. So here's the thing. If you guys remember when Paul Ryan was Speaker of the House and Mitch was, controlling the Senate, when they passed that bill to so-called cut taxes, the Democrats didn't want to even vote on it because they knew that it was going to basically screw the common person, so to speak, the 9-10% of the rich people. They knew that it would help them, but it would do nothing for us. Okay, so they didn't even bother to bring it up to the Democrats. They just went ahead and passed the shit and just said, "Fuck y'all," basically. It's a good thing today is Friday and Seabreeze isn't here because I'm cussing my butt off. So anyway, so what happened was they didn't even bother to pretty much work it out with the Democrats. They just went ahead and passed that nutty ass bill, which is still going to be one of screwing the middle class. Well, there is no more middle class. Either nowadays with this economy, you either part of the 10% or you're part of the 80% that's still suffering. So with this reconciliation that they're using now, and here's the key, because it wasn't used last year, I believe, because I believe the way it works is that you get one per term or one per congressional term, I believe. And I might be wrong on that. So actually they have two issues that they can vote on. Of course, the stimulus check. So let's get back to the stimulus check. Okay. The $600 that some of you guys, and I do mean that seriously, some of you guys, because I'm one of those people that I ain't got my shit yet. So the $600 that some of you guys received, that was part of a whole nother bill. Okay. So when people are saying that it's split, there really was no split. There was no split to begin with. And let me explain. Let me make something perfectly clear in my Nixon voice. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. If Georgia had not won both of those elections, and if Mitch McConnell had still been majority leader, if the Republicans had the majority in the Senate, this reconciliation would not even be a thing, because Biden would be Congress would have pushed the bill, would have passed the bill, and Mitch would have said, like he had been saying, that this is not even going to be voted on. They didn't even want to vote on the bills that Nancy Pelosi. Now, though I agree, some of Nancy Pelosi's, some of the shit she was asking for last year was just off the fucking hook. Now, I'm going to keep it 100. This is the stuff I can't say when I get to CNN, but I can say that now, being on grown folks, because this is grown folks. Some of that bullshit that Nancy was asking for was just that, bullshit. Now, y'all know me. I keep it balanced, Yes, I am a Democrat, a huge Democratic supporter. But I'm still going to call bullshit when I see bullshit. And that was bullshit. I don't know how else to put it. Some of that stuff she was asked for, like, come on, lady, are you serious? But that when you're negotiating next to two, you start high and the other part starts low and you meet somewhere in the middle. So the $600 that you got, that's not a part of the Biden administration. Biden had nothing to do with that. That's what the Republicans. Understand something. So what this $1,400, that's a part of a whole nother bill. If you remember in the beginning, that was one of the things that Nancy Pelosi wanted. Nancy Pelosi in the beginning wanted $2,000 for every American to receive a stimulus check of $2,000. The Republicans basically was like, get the fuck out of here. We ain't giving you no $2,000. And they came up with the $600. Okay. And remember, they gave $300 extra per week to people getting unemployment and pandemic unemployment. Now we understand something. It didn't get extended all the way. It only got extended. Unemployment only got extended until March the 14th. And here's the thing. Because Dum Dum took so long to sign the bill, to sign the freaking bill, people's stuff got cut off. Because remember, the cutoff period was the last week that you could apply for, that you could, I'm having a brain for it. The last week that you could file for was December the 26th of 2020. Because Dum Dum waited, and I think he did that on purpose. I don't know why I keep calling him Dum Dum, because he's really not dumb. Trump really isn't dumb. Trump actually is a fucking genius when you really think about it. Because he's still going to stay, and I'm sure you guys heard yesterday that Seabreeze and I had a huge disagreement, or whatever, and that's what adults do. They debate. We still love each other. We just disagree. She thinks that Trump should not be talked about because this is a news show. We talk about everybody, whoever is relevant. And I'm sorry, as much as you say he's not relevant, he's going to stay relevant. He's going to stay relevant within the Republican Party. Mitch McConnell just yesterday said that would he support Trump if Trump runs again? His answer was absolutely. So as much as you try to keep him irrelevant, he's going to constantly be relevant. They're having a CPAC meeting today, powwow, and he's going to be the key speaker. So yes, his agenda is still around. It's gonna stay around. So anyway, the $600 that you got, they didn't even want to give that. That was a Republican bill. Why is there $1,400 on the table now? What they're trying to do is trying to make up the difference of what they actually wanted. See, this is a partisan thing, and this is Pelosi's way of showing her balls and saying we're going to get what we wanted anyway. Which, if you think about it, this is what Pelosi was saying the whole time that the election was going on in 2020. Pelosi knew that the Democrats weren't going to go for the ridiculous stuff that she was going for. So that's why she was saying all or nothing. Because she didn't want a bill to be passed, and that would have helped Trump get back into the White House. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you. She was right. Had there been a bill passed in November, or I won't even say November, let's say a bill was passed in October, guess what? Trump would have won. You look at the QAnon conspiracies, and you listen to the Proud Boys. By the way, we're going to get to the Proud Boys in a minute, because something dawned on me last night, as a matter of fact. I was watching after I listened to DJ Simpson's great show last night. It dawned on me that the leader of the Proud Boys is not what you think. His face doesn't look like what you think it looked like, and he's a government snitch. Yeah. The leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique, is dark as the ace of spades. That's the hypocrisy of this country. But Nancy Pelosi held out on purpose, because she kept saying, well, once Biden gets into the White House, we'll do another bill to make up the difference. So it's not a split of the payments. These are two separate bills altogether. Two totally separate bills. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's how this works. Here's how this shapes up. She held out because she wanted Biden to get in the White House, and she was hoping that that Georgia would take the Senate as they did, and she would be able to do basically whatever she wanted to do. Earl Davis, good morning to you, brother. So because I want to shout somebody out real quick. Oh, hell yeah. Because shout out to Yvette Money. She just texted me. And I'm texting her back to let her know that I will call her as soon as I get off the air. After I get off air. Okay, so what happened was Nancy Pelosi wanted to make sure that basically that Trump didn't get back in. Okay, and that's basically what she did. Okay, so oh man, what's going on, brother? How you feel this morning? How's it going? McConnell said if Trump was GOP nominee for POTUS, McConnell said he would absolutely support Trump. Thank you, Earl. That's exactly what I was saying, Earl. Oh man, what's going on, brother? That's exactly what was done, Earl. That's exactly what happened. Mitch said that he would definitely back him. Yeah. So basically, that $600 that $600 that was part of Mitch's that was part of the Mitch regime. So basically, the $1,400 is basically Pelosi's way of saying, "Look here, this is what we're going to get. We're going to get this. We're going to do it anyway, the way that we want to do it. We're going to give everybody $1,000." So basically, are you going to get this $1,000? Yeah, you're going to get it. Basically, you're going to get it. You're going to get the 14, and the way it works is for those who didn't get the 600. First of all, if you didn't get that $600, you're probably not going to get it. What's going to happen is you're going to have to apply for it with your taxes. Okay. So the way it's going to go is you'll get the 1,400. Now, how they're going to do it remains to be seen. Are they going to go by 2020 taxes and people who didn't, the same way they did it before? And I don't think they should do it that way, because there are people, if you're going to give it to the Americans who qualify, just because you didn't file your taxes should not be that should not be like a penalty. You should not be penalized. And that's basically what it's shaping up to be, that they're being penalized. The American people are being penalized for not filing for your taxes. And I don't think that's fair. I really don't. I don't see that as being fair. I see that as being very unfair. Okay. So, you'll get the $1,400. Now, how are you going to get it? Most people will get it the way they got this, especially those who got the 600. You'll get it the same way, direct deposit or however you got it. You'll get it the same way, or you may get a check or whatever. It depends on who you are. It really does. I heard somebody just as recent as last night say that they got their check directly in the mail. Real early too. So you'll get it. It's just, how are they going to give it? Are they going to do a direct deposit again? Or are they going to do the checks? And for the people who didn't get it, are you going to open back up the portal that allow people to put their information in so that they can receive their check? I got my first stimulus check, the first $1,200, and I got that early direct deposit, no problem. I haven't received the second one yet. So I don't know, I don't think there's any really, in my honest opinion, I think the IRS dropped the ball. I really do. A lot of people didn't get the payments that they should have gotten. So basically, the bottom line is that this bill is being voted on today. They had to take out the so-called pork. And what pork is stuff that, they say has nothing to do with the actual budget. It's a whole bunch of wish list stuff in there, and which there was. So you'll get it. It'll be voted on today, and you will get it, and life will be good. Okay. So today, there's going to be a vote on the bill. I don't believe they voted on it yet. I've had C-SPAN on my TV all morning, so I can catch it when they do the vote and give you guys the update, as you know that I do. So it will pass because as much as the Democrats are trying to, some Democrats are trying to go against it, and I don't know what that is about. I don't know what Joe Manchin is into. I don't know. I don't know what its problem is, especially West Virginia, which is one of the brokest states out there. I don't get his way of thinking, but it's not. Hey, whatever. It's just my opinion, and this isn't, even though this is a news show, news show, it is a bit of opinion based, just like CNN, Fox, and MSNBC, as we were saying yesterday, ABC, NBC, CBS, which are the three majors, and Fox affiliates, not Fox News, Fox affiliates, they just give you the facts and they stay middle of the road unless you have an actual show like This Week in Politics and that ABC with George Stephanopoulos, people like that. That's the only time they get opinion. So remember, this is opinion based, it's just my opinion. It's my educated opinion, but it's just my opinion. But the bill will pass, and it will pass before unemployment runs out, because that's the key. The unemployment is about to run out in about a week and a half, and I'm pretty sure that the Democrats are going to get that done. Why is it taking so long? Why hasn't it already been passed? Well, you have to understand something. The Democratic senators were already involved in the impeachment process. And I want to speak on that real quick. As far as the impeachment process goes, do I think that it was a waste of time? Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, Trump should be, and still always should be held accountable for what happened, because he was the leader of that insurrection, and that was a insurrection of terrorists. That was a direct terrorist attack. Okay. Do I believe that Mitch should have been, not Mitch, I'm sorry, that Trump should be held accountable? Yeah. Do I think that it got in the way of the agenda at hand? Yeah, I really do. I think it really, really did put a damper on the agenda. I really do. It put the agenda in the way. So do I believe that they should have not did the impeachment trial? Yeah, I think they should have brought up the articles of impeachment. I think the Congress did right. What I think should have happened, knowing that you weren't going to have the three, because you needed basically a 3/4 vote. In other words, you needed 67 votes to convict. Well, we know you had 50 votes from the Democrats. You needed at least 17 more to convict, which would have been 17 Republicans. That wasn't going to happen. You got 7. You're lucky you got those. That was history. That was historic. That's never been done. So, I think that the Democrats should have made a deal. I really do. I think the Democrats should have made a deal and just said, look, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to allow you to run anymore, but we are going to, we're not going to convict. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a deal with you. We won't take it to the Senate, to the floor to be voted on if you sign this contract saying that you will no longer run again. Because that's what this was all about. This was all about stopping what's his face? Stopping Trump from running again. So what they should have did was they should have, in my opinion, should say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to convict. We're not going to try to convict. We're not going to vote on a conviction, just like a criminal, any criminal trial. You plead guilty. You will never run again. Your family cannot never run again. But you won't be. You've already been impeached. First time in history, a president's been impeached twice. So you've already been impeached, okay? So we're not going to impeach you. We're not going to convict you, but you just can't run anymore. But now the way he's looking at it, he's been vindicated. So the way that he sees it, he's vindicated. And I think that was a mistake to have that trial. I truly believe they should have just made a deal, because you knew that you had overwhelming evidence. They knew that they had overwhelming evidence. If you look at his defense team, Trump's defense team, it was a joke. The one guy was a freaking ambulance chaser here from, oh God, he's from Philadelphia. That's the embarrassing part. He was an injury lawyer. How the hell can you take an injury lawyer and make him argue constitutional law on the Senate floor? Are you serious? So that's the way I think that it should have happened. And do I think that it was a mistake? Yes, I believe that it was a huge mistake. I really, really do. I think it was a huge mistake to have that trial, because it kind of put some other things on the back burner that we desperately needed. And those were a couple of those things that were put, in my opinion, that were put on the back burner. It was allowed, the Senate basically allowed, the impeachment trial, pretty much allowed a lot of other things to go by the wayside, as a result of Trump going to trial. They weren't able to focus on some of the more important things. I do think that he needs to be held accountable for the insurrection. Yes. I just think that in the impeachment itself, yes, because that's a serious stain. The only problem is with him having this record and all of that. You can say what you want. It's really not taking effect. His deep-rooted supporters are just that. He's losing a lot of support, and the Republican Party is pretty much in the same state that the Democratic Party was in when Lincoln ran for president. And what am I talking about? Well, you have to understand something historically. Historically, actually, it was reversed. Whereas though now you have the Republican Party being the party of the rich and the famous and the infamous and all of that, and the Democratic Party pretty much being the party of the common person. Back in the 1800s, it was the other way around. The Republicans were the party of the people, and the Democrats were, those seats were held by slave owners and things of that nature. And you have to remember, when Lincoln ran against Douglas, just as a senator, he made a lot of noise. And Lincoln was a serious abolitionist supporter. Now, you have to understand, he wasn't an abolitionist. That's the funny thing. A lot of people say, oh, Lincoln freed the slaves. Lincoln was for our people. No, he really was not. He really wasn't. Lincoln, though he did not believe in slavery, he was a very strong believer in white supremacy. Or let me say this, white superiority. And what do I mean by that? Again, Lincoln did free the slave because Lincoln, and understand why Lincoln wrote the Emancipation Proclamation. Lincoln did not do that because he was so disheartened towards the treatment of black people, the treatment of slaves. Because Lincoln believed, and Lincoln strongly believed that though he did not believe in human beings owning each other, he did strongly believe that whites were superior in intellect and everything other. So the way that he felt, though he didn't believe in slavery, he did believe in separate. Okay. In other words, if Lincoln was president now, and let's say that Jim Crow laws were never outlawed and things of that nature, he would be a strong supporter of Jim Crow laws. He would be one that would believe in separate education and separate even water fountains. He did believe that whites were superior. He did not believe in equal rights. None of that. He just didn't believe that slaves, that humans should own other humans. But understand something. He also did not free the slaves because of he did it for political, and it was a way of pretty much crippling the South, which the South had already succeeded. The Civil War had already started. So when I'm getting back into, there's a similarity, because when Lincoln ran for president, you have to understand, Douglas ran for president for the North, a North Democrat. You had Southern Democrats that did not agree with Douglas's policies, and they ran their own campaign. So basically you had three different parties. You had three different parties within a party, within the Democratic Party. Whereas though you had Lincoln over here in the Republican Party just coasting. Because what happens when you had all this fighting and going on and discord going on within the Democratic Party, the Republican Party didn't have anything going on. They just like went right past. And that is the similarity that I'm speaking of, ladies and gentlemen. That's the similarity that I'm speaking of. Because in the 1800s, during that time, the Republican had a split. Well, Democrat. Well, that's exactly what's going on right now. You have the GOP and you have the Democrats. The Democrats, they got Biden, they got the House, they got the Senate. Like, look, we're moving on. They're not even giving the QAnon lady, Susie Q, Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're not giving her any, they're just moving along. Meanwhile, in the GOP, you got the Trump supporters, you have the independents, you have and understand something, a lot of independents they were Republicans. They went independent because they just got tired of the crap. And you got all this fighting going on in the GOP, which is taking away from their agenda, which is having them lose the Senate, because understand something, that crap that Trump pulled, that would won the election. Trump, in my opinion, single-handedly imploded the Senate. He took the Senate away from Mitch. And for Mitch to say that he backs him after he basically threw him under the bus and imploded the GOP is just beyond me. That just shows lack of balls. I don't know how else to put it. So basically, if since the GOP has all these problems, you got to split. You got this is what I'm going to get back to the Proud Boys. I was watching the interview with him last night, and the Proud Boys are planning on getting someone to run. QAnon wants to get somebody to run. And they having so many problems. They're basically going to be three different parties, you might as well say, within the GOP. And that is the similarity that I was bringing up between this administration and the Lincoln, during the Lincoln days. I was just making the correlation. So there's a lot of problems within the with the Republican Party, and I don't know if they're going to be able to survive it. Will Trump is this the party of Trump? Yes. I strongly believe that it's the party of Trump. I strongly believe that. So, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. So there you have it. That is the stimulus package broken down in a nutshell. There's nothing more to pretty much break down. Pretty much broke it all the way down. And it is 12 o'clock straight up and down. In fact, I'm a little bit late. I'm a few minutes after. Coming up next is Cool DJ Frank. Cool DJ Frank comes on every day at 12 o'clock, right after the Melanated Morning Show. Actually, he comes on 7 days a week. But from Monday to Friday, he comes on right after the Melanated Morning Show. Saturdays, he comes on after music at 12 o'clock. And Sundays, he comes on at 12 o'clock. Like I said, 12 o'clock Saturday, Sunday to Sunday. Sunday to Saturday, yeah. So don't forget, tonight, we have a new show tonight, guys, on the Grown Folks Radio. We have a new show that's airing tonight. It's Christian I'm sorry. Let me get the flyer up before I say something stupid. Before I say something real stupid. Let me get the flyer up. So basically, the name of this show is, I don't know what the name of this show is. Damn. But there's going to be a hell of a panel on here. Wow. Just look for the flyer on my page, guys. I know some of you people are saying, well, I'm on the radio. I'm on Mixcloud. I'm on YouTube. Yeah, so I'll post it later on. But it comes on at 7 tonight, 7 p.m. on the grownfolksradio.com. I know Shelly's listening and be like, what the hell is he doing? This is a hell of a topic. Single sense conversations. There you go. Single sense conversations. I got it. That's the name of it. Single sense conversations. I got it. And that comes on at 7. And Shelly Shell is going to be a part of that council altogether. So yeah, shout out to Shelly Shell, Philly's Oprah. Shelly Shell. Shelly Shell. And that comes on tonight. And tomorrow at 2 is the 4th Saturday, which is Single on the Saturday night. Shelly. Again. And it is the 9th anniversary of Single on a Saturday Night. And Sunday, my man, so first of all, Sunday at 4 o'clock will be Monty on the Scene with her and Frex doing their take, just their take. Inspiration in sport. That's from 4 to 6, and from 8 until 12 will be myself and Old Man doing Old School Sunday. Yeah, that part. So yes, tune in for that. And today, right now, actually, the latest version of the PPC podcast by Cinda Williams, produced by myself, me, yours truly, is out now. You can get it on Anchor. You can get it on Spotify. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the link in the comments so you guys can get it. So for myself, Seabreeze, and everybody else, that's it. Have a good, safe weekend. Catch you guys Monday.
The Melanated Morning Show with DJ Kid Disco and co-host Cinda Williams. WGFB-FM radio.
So are you ready?
How it used to be. Something for everyone.